Well, good morning to you and Happy New Year! This is a special pre-recorded edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. A lot of you are just barely waking up right now, but those of you early birds out there are up getting ready to welcome in the new year. And we decided we would come in today, and this is a special pre-recorded show, so we're actually not here today. So don't try calling in. But watch the show, because we're going to talk about healthy tips for the new year. There are so many different ones. I mean, everybody's making their New Year's resolutions. I'm going to do this better, this better, this better. And we're going to kind of add a few things to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Year's resolution, make something that you can stick with.
Yeah.
Don't make it and break it within a month, which is what everybody does.
Most of them get a week, about a week.
I mean,
out
it
of
ain't
too.
much, yeah.
No.
And so, kind of make something that you think you can stick with, and we're going to give you some realistic healthy tips that's easy to do to make you healthier for the new year.
And one of the biggest ones that everybody makes is, I want to get in better shape and I want to lose weight.
And that's probably the one that gets broken the quickest. Okay, because they'll go get either they get a gym membership or they'll go buy them some exercise equipment. They go at it like they
overdo it.
They overdo it. Hadn't been in a gym or even saw one for 30 years, and all of a sudden you're going to go, all out, do it. And they're so sore they can't hardly move the next day. And then a couple of days of that, and they say, forget this crap. I'm not going to do this.
We have a lot of
That's
people,
the wrong way to go
a lot
about
of people at the beginning of the year that come in and we do lab work on them. And if we do one of our cardiac panels or the super panel that has the CK on it, it is sky high, which is breakdown of muscle. And the first thing you say is, did you exercise really hard and you hadn't done it in a long time? Oh yeah, and I can't move and I can't do it again. Well, that's what we see. It actually changes the lab work because you have so much muscle breakdown that you actually damage the muscles. So don't do that. If you're going to have exercise, which is a very good, it's one of our healthy tips
actually,
is you do need to get moving. Don't start out full force.
Yeah.
Don't overdo it.
No.
Start low. You can increase it as you can. You can increase your workouts. You can do a little bit more at a time. But when you do too much too quick, you don't stick with it.
That's right.
And moving is so important. And if you're somebody that can't go exercise, move in the chair. Move your arms. Watch TV and move your arms. Move your legs. Do what you can, because just moving at all is helpful.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of great little videos on you can watch on your phone or whatever that to exercise too, and it doesn't matter. I mean, they have them for all ages.
Yes.
Because I've seen one all the time. I wonder why for older guys. So on using a chair.
Yes.
Simple chair.
Right.
Things that you can do with that chair.
Right.
That will really help you out.
Yeah.
And if you can do it, then add weight bearing.
Right.
I do think weight bearing exercise is really good for bone density. It's good for osteoporosis. It's just good for strength and keeping in shape.
Yeah. When it comes to osteoporosis, we get a lot of folks in and say, well, they told me I need to be taking calcium, blah, blah, blah. Probably the most important thing you can do for osteoporosis is weight bearing exercise.
Yeah, weight bearing exercise.
I mean, you want your D levels in good shape. You want to make sure you get a little bit of calcium, but we don't want too much. We can cause problems. And then there's some other things like vitamin K2, real important. So we can do those things. But that weight-bearing exercise, that's one of the big keys. It really is.
I mean, sitting in your chair and lifting your knees, moving them back and forth, lifting your legs up, moving them back and forth, it helps with your mobility and the joints and everything.
Yeah.
But then sitting in that chair and just kind of pushing, as you said, weight bearing, pushing yourself up, letting yourself back down.
Yep. Yeah.
Simple things like that. I mean, that's weight bearing, and it really helps out.
So just get moving. But the number one thing, if you do anything this year,
I saw that and I thought,
the number
imagine
one
that.
thing,
We talk about this all the time.
yeah, if you do anything, get off sugar.
Yes.
Sugar is really affecting everyone's health.
It really is. The statistics on it go back, okay, let's go back, say, 75 years ago. Back then, average America, consumed about 5 pounds of sugar per year. Yeah. Now, next time you're at the grocery store, I want you to try this little trick. The average American, get your grocery cart empty, okay? And then we're going to put in it how much the average American consumes today in 2023. It's about 125 pounds. 115 to 125 pounds, depending on who you listen to.
A
Yeah,
year?
some people I've seen.
Huh?
I've
A
even
year.
seen up
A
to
year.
150.
Wow.
I've
I've
even
seen
seen.
I've seen as high as 150.
Depends on who you listen
Right.
to, who you talk to, but still, it's way, 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 way more than it used to be.
Put 115, put 100 pounds of sugar in that buggy and push it around that grocery store a little bit. You talking about weight-bearing exercise? Go for it, buddy. You know, and of course, then put it back on the shelf. Don't just leave it because the stock person will have to put it back. But I mean, it really is an eye-opener to see that much sugar that the average person consumes. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. It really
Yeah,
is.
it really is, and it's in everything. So you have to start looking and look at what you do, what you eat, and we always say.
And they like to hide the names of it.
Well,
Right.
there's 60. I think now there's like either 60 or 61 different names that they can use for
sugar.
So
Wow.
we can hide it, you know. And used to they would, you know, it was pretty simple, sugar.
Yeah.
Well, now, yeah.
had all kind of
We
things.
can
High
call it.
fructose corn syrup.
Yeah,
Yep.
fructose.
That's
blah,
why
blah,
our
blah.
next health tip, if you follow it, you won't have to read labels as
Right.
much because it's eat real food. Eat things that are not already packaged and processed, things that don't have labels.
Right.
So that would be your meat and vegetables and nuts and seeds and fruit and things that aren't already made.
Well, you mean-
Fatty fish.
Yeah.
Well, fish is a great protein.
Yeah.
Now, the meats may have a label on it because somebody corrected me here not too long ago because we've said this before 1,000 times, and they said, "Well,
They've started putting it on some of the packaged
Well, it tells you what it is. Okay, it's like steak. Okay,
but it don't have supplement facts.
right. It doesn't have something on there called supplement facts or
The dietary.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyhow, because it didn't tell you how much fat, how much protein, how much
Carbohydrates,
you got. That's the key. Yeah, I mean, if the package tells you, okay, it's salmon, great. Okay, so it's got a label on it, but that's telling you what it is. It's just a simple food.
And if you do salmon, get wild caught.
Exactly. That's
So
the
you
biggest
want to
thing.
you want to try to get the most natural forms you can get of all the foods
Do you know
without
what-
the chemicals added.
Do you know what they feed farm-raised salmon?
Nothing.
Corn.
They eat their own
Corn.
Because I know they eat their own waste.
Well, they do that, but I mean,
Well,
but corn. Oh my God, that's
I mean, it's easy to go into your store and everything and pick up a pack of salmon, and it'll say on there farm raised.
yes,
Yep, it says it. Farm raised or wild caught. You want wild caught.
yeah.
So, and fish is eating more fatty
We have
fish is a
some
really good tip in
wonderful
itself.
seafood markets around the coast
We do.
here.
Yes, we
that,
do.
We do.
That carry fresh fish.
Right.
You know, and you can go in there and it'll say wild caught.
Right.
Now there
salmon.
is some farm raised, but if you ask them, they will tell
Ask them.
you.
They'll tell you.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 All right. This is our special New Year's edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show, so we're not here; it's pre-recorded. But we're, we got tips for the healthy New Year. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more tips. And welcome back to our special New Year's edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show, where we're giving you tips for a healthy New Year. This is pre-recorded at an earlier date, so we can't take your calls today. We want you to just sit back and enjoy your cup of coffee and listen to the show and get some wonderful tips. Eating. We got to eat differently.
We
Yes.
do. You know, and one of the keys, and people find this, you know, when we tell them this, they kind of look at you kind of funny. One of the keys to really staying healthy is eating 5 or more servings. And now, serving is not a plateful. Serving is a serving. You know, a tablespoon,
serving.
small serving.
Yeah.
5 or more servings of vegetables and low glycemic fruits every day. Now, that's a little bit tougher than you think it is, but it's well worth it. You will see some
Yeah.
definite benefits
So
in your
try
health.
that challenge to see if you can do it.
Yes,
5 servings every day, vegetables and low glycemic fruits.
right.
What are some good vegetables? I mean, because I can go and get some black-eyed peas or something
Those
like
are
that.
not vegetables.
Those are not vegetables.
Those are legumes.
Those are legumes.
But okay,
But they
so
got protein in them.
they got a little bit,
That's
a little bit.
not
A lot of
we're wanting 5. We're wanting to get the natural fibers.
Right.
And you do get fibers from beans. And beans are okay too.
Yeah.
If you get the right kind and you don't
So how
add a
about
lot of rice
like
to them.
collard greens or something?
Yeah,
like
but
Well, yeah, yeah.
collard, all
Collard
your
greens,
your
broccoli.
broccoli, your cauliflower, your yellow squash, your
Yeah.
zucchini.
Yeah.
There's all kind of good ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I love some good yellow squash with onions
Yeah.
in the skillet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, onions.
Oh, yeah.
Onions is
Onions
another
are
good
great.
one.
Okay.
Onions is another good one.
Make some notes here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So all
onions-
that.
onions
Get more
garlic.
onions.
Well, that's how you start cooking anything. Onions,
Onions and
garlic,
garlic you
whatever.
start with.
Yeah, exactly, true,
You know, that's what
true.
you start
Yeah.
with. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah.
So I don't count that as a serving because I put it in.
It's
almost
in everything. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But that's harder to do than you think, but
Yeah.
it's well worth it, you know, when you start thinking about what benefits you'll get from it.
Yep.
'Cause we've actually had people over the years that we mentioned this to, And they kind of thought, well, yeah, I think I could do that. So they go try it.
Or they think they're already doing it.
Or they think they're already doing it. Then they go home and they look and they say, I really didn't eat that much of that stuff. But then they change. They start eating or trying to eat 4 to 5 servings of these vegetables every day. And they say, yeah, my digestion's better. My blood pressure's coming down. I've lost a few pounds. Can't go wrong with that, can we?
Mm-mm.
No.
Not at all.
You definitely would rather have fresh, but if
Right.
you can't, the frozen are your next best option.
Yeah.
But you want to try to stay, again, not packaged and processed.
Right.
And
No
if you-
canned stuff,
if
which
you
is packaged
do
and processed.
get-
Right.
One tip, if you do get frozen vegetables, even if it's the right ones, and it's in those plastic bags that you pop in the microwave, not good.
Don't do it.
Not good. The stuff that's in that plastic and the stuff that is put in those microwavable things are not good.
Yeah.
So you really want, even if it's in a bag like that, take it out, steam it yourself on the stove.
Yeah.
Just get to where you're doing a little bit more cooking.
Which fruits are the low glycemic?
The low glycemic fruit, your best bets are berries and apples. And so the berries and apples are your best choice. And all your berries, your strawberries, your raspberries, your blueberries, blackberries if you can get them.
Yeah.
Things like that. They are the lower glycemic. The real high glycemic is your bananas and raisins and mango. And they really are high in the sugar content. So
Right.
you want to try to keep those down. A banana is not as bad if it's green, but it sure don't taste very good either.
They don't. No, they don't. That's the problem.
That's not the ones people eat.
And they will tear your stomach up.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
they
that's
will.
not the
Yeah.
ones people eat. So
Not good. Not good. Not good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Another great tip.
is get outside
Mm-hmm.
and get more sunshine. That's probably a hard one and make your kids go out and also, because people aren't going outside anymore.
Yeah.
And the sun, everybody knows that you get vitamin D from the sun.
Right.
And vitamin D is so important.
Well, John Denver knew what he was singing when he wrote the song "Sunshine on My Shoulders."
Yep.
Makes
Yeah.
me happy.
Yeah.
Makes you happy, exactly. And so it definitely helps you be happy because it increases serotonin. They've actually shown that sunlight in your eyes actually helps your serotonin, but you don't want to wear sunglasses or you don't get all the rays that actually increases the serotonin.
Right.
But it really does make a difference to get outside, and I think there's so many benefits to sunshine that they don't even know yet.
Oh, there are. There's no doubt. I mean, life wouldn't exist on this planet if we didn't have sunshine.
Everything has to have sunshine to grow. If you think about plants, and
Yeah.
you have to have it. And so many people don't go outside.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good, healthy tip for the New Year's. Try to get outside more.
I mean, think about the people that live up in Alaska. I mean, there's times, there's
Oh, yeah.
so many months of the year that it's just dark all
That's
the time.
why they all have
And
light
they're-
boxes.
They have these
because,
light boxes, which are something you sit in front of,
Yeah.
and you get, and they're designed to where they simulate the light that you'd get from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
they use them every day. Either that or, if I've had one or more than one tell me, it's either that or go crazy.
Yeah.
Literally.
The depression rate is
Right.
Oh, yeah,
really
real
bad.
high.
Yeah.
really
yeah.
high. Another tip:
Is stay hydrated.
Oh.
Drink water.
plenty of water.
A lot of times when you
Yeah.
get the people that do live until their 90s and 100s and they look so good and their skin still looks good, and you ask them what their secret is, most of them said they drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
So it does make a difference, and it does help overall health. It helps your kidney function. It just keeps everything going. You have
It's-
to have water. It's one of those things that you cannot live without.
And it's one of the greatest detoxifiers that
Yep.
you've got, because without enough water, the body kind of has to try to conserve what it's got, so it can't excrete it like urine and so on. And so when you drink enough water, the kidneys and the liver are designed to, okay, we're detoxifying this stuff. We're going to get rid of it. And they do. But you got to have enough water so that liver and those kidneys are functioning to where they can get rid of this stuff and you get it out of your body. Number one thing for detoxification. It really is.
Yeah, probably cut back some on the alcohol too.
Yeah.
Small amounts of alcohol.
Small amount has been beneficial.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
a large amount is absolutely not beneficial.
Right.
Now, smoking is never beneficial.
No.
I can say that.
Or smokeless tobacco.
Yes, no,
No.
all that is never beneficial.
No.
But they have studies where people do live longer that do a very small amount.
Right. Look, you can overwhelm the liver pretty quick. I think it's something like, it's not much. It's like 10 or 12 grams of alcohol. And if you look at it, that's not much at all. But if that's much over that and you start to overwhelm the liver, it gets to where like, okay, it can't do its function like it's supposed to. And so it starts doing crazy stuff with the alcohol, making stuff out of it that you don't want. and that's what causes all the problems. So
Yeah.
very low amounts.
Okay.
Okay.
And optimize your sleep.
Oh gosh, sleeping. There's nothing more important than sleep. That's when your body
Yeah.
heals.
Yeah.
That's when your brain cells clean themselves out. You'll actually see where that's at night. The brain cells rejuvenate itself by cleaning out the debris.
Yeah.
And if you don't sleep, you don't get that function.
Right.
So, and to sleep better, you want to go to bed at the same time every night.
Right.
Wake up at the same time every morning.
Right.
You want to limit your screen time and right before you go to bed. There's so many things that you can do itself. We could have a whole show on sleep, but make sure you're getting your sleep. And if you don't, try to do things that actually change.
Right.
Change it.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is our special pre-recorded show for New Year's on tips for a healthy New Year, and we're going to come back in our next segment, our last segment, and have a special for you and tell you some more things that you can do to have a healthy New Year. And welcome back to our last segment of this morning's special New Year's edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show, which we pre-recorded at an earlier date. So we're not taking phone calls, but we will be back next Monday on the 8th.
Yes.
We will be back live in
Live.
studio. What will we be talking about?
Good question.
You know what?
What?
I don't know.
Well, since we didn't get to do Open Line Monday today, we might want to do it on.
We have a set show, and I forgot to look at what it is.
Ah.
Yeah. 'cause
It's a surprise.
it's a surprise.
It'll be a real surprise, even to us. Okay.
But anyway, this is the final segment. Let's go ahead and look at what this week's special is going to be, though.
Yeah, any lab panel, any of our lab panels, they cost $160 or more, and that gives you $35 off of that. Any of those, it's a great time to buy. We're going to make the next thing that we talk about investing, and it's about investing in your health. This is where you start.
Right, and people a lot of times wait for first of the year. We
Yeah.
usually do a lab work special, and we want to get it to where people can come get the lab work done, start off the new year right, start off investing in your health and figuring out what you need to do to make changes for a healthier new year.
Right.
And that
makes a big
yes.
difference because I've been doing it now for 10 years with y'all.
Yeah.
And the supplements that I'm on have made a huge difference in the way that I feel and my
And
health.
we have different panels. We have our expanded panel, which is the 160, so it's like 125, and that checks a lot. I mean, that does. The lowest panel actually checks your CBC, which is your blood count, your metabolic panels, which is kidney, liver, electrolytes. It does your cholesterol. It does 4 different tests on thyroid, stress hormone, DHEA. It does your A1C, which is a 3-month blood sugar average. It looks at your insulin, vitamin D, magnesium, B12, folate, does a urinalysis. That's a lot of blood work. And that's the one that this week is $125. Now what we do is we have other panels where we take that same panel and then you add more to it.
Yeah.
What we add to it is we have our cardiac panel, which the cardiac panel adds things like your homocysteine and the inflammation in the arteries, the C-reactive protein. It looks at fibrinogen. It looks at muscle breakdown. So it does extra things. And that one's usually $230, so it's $195. Then you can add the NMR, which gives you the particles, not just cholesterol, so it gives you a little bit more. So it's normally $275. And then we have our super panel. The super panel does everything with the NMR, does the cardiac panel, but actually adds your hormones. And then it also does pancreatic enzymes, so it tests a whole lot of things. Now, any of our panels that don't have the hormones can be added for $75 because we have a lot of people want to add hormones to it. And for men, when we add the hormones, it contains the PSA. So it checks a lot, and we check a lot more than that's normally checked because we do not do insurance, and we don't have to justify it to an insurance company. So we're looking for health. It's a wellness. It is not waiting until you get sick.
Yeah.
I had somebody this week and say, gosh, all my friends don't want to do it if it isn't covered by insurance. And I said, well, insurance actually, they pay for sickness. And she was like, that's a good way of putting it. We do wellness.
Yeah, we don't have health care so much here in America anymore. We have sick care.
Yeah.
A lot of people come in and have figured that out. I've had more than one in the past, say, 6 months that have kind of figured that out. So, we really don't have health care, do we, Doc? I said, well, what do you mean? Well, they don't pay for you to stay healthy. No, that's not the focus. It's about you have to get sick because that's why a lot of times you'll hear this comment about, well, something's not quite right. They say, well, we'll just watch it. And so what they're going to do is wait until it's justifiable to the insurance company, and then we'll do something about it.
And the Healthy You that people have said, oh no, I have prevention. Well, most Healthy You that I've seen on insurance companies cover lipids, which is your cholesterol. Some do a CBC, some do a CMP, and that's about it for
Yeah.
you. That ain't much.
No.
A lot of times you don't find the problems on that.
Simple stuff.
And they don't look at the nutrients. They don't look for prevention. That's true prevention when you're looking at something that is actually deficient that can cause problems down the road. Where it isn't causing it yet, because it might not be causing a liver problem or a kidney problem at that time. But if it's deficient, eventually it is going to cause problems. So that's why we do the broad panels. We check a lot of things and you can get a lot of information.
Right.
And at the beginning of almost every year, I can't say every year, but we usually do this special. So it's this week only. Our specials now run till Saturday. So it's until Saturday. You can pay for it and do the test later. So if you say,
Anytime.
well, I can't come this week to do the lab work, you can call, pay for it, have it on there, and that way you can, whenever you can do it, you can come in and do it. So as long as it's paid for this week, you can do it anytime.
Yeah.
And another way that I look at it too, getting the blood work done, is you go to your doctor, and you're sick or whatever, you get blood work done, as you said, for sickness.
Right.
And,
And it
you know,
changes things because you're sick.
it changes things because you're sick, and it's like, well, how sick am I gonna? When can I get over this? Or
Right.
you could end up getting worse if it's not caught in time. Whereas opposed to doing the blood work ahead of time when you're well,
When you think you're well, anyhow,
think
right?
you're
When we
well.
think
Right.
we're good, okay.
then you can go through any prevent. I mean, like we were talking before we did started taping this morning, the fact that I caught COVID a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Never knew I had it.
So did he.
Never knew I had it.
Yeah.
But again, I've been under their tutelage
Yeah.
for all this time and taking the proper things for prevention.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference. Like I say, this is investment things, right? Because we invest in a lot of things, 401ks, all that good stuff, and that's great, and you want to do that financial investing. But when you start investing in your health, now you're doing something that you can actually see a benefit from without having to wait a year for it to
Immediately,
mature.
exactly.
Immediately. You don't have to wait. Well, it's like a CD or something you put money in. Yeah, you're going to have to wait a year to see that money and grow. With investing in your health, you get to see it pretty darn quick.
Yes.
That's the key.
That is it. That is it. So
And the last health tip, we have one more, and actually we talked last week about it the whole show.
Yeah.
Is be positive.
Right.
and be nice.
Be nice.
Yes.
Be nice to people.
others. Yep, exactly. We need more of that.
It freaks people out, so do it. Yeah.
Yeah, walk around smiling all the time.
Yeah.
People will think, what is he up
What's
to?
he up
What is
to?
she
Yep.
What's going on and everything. So yeah, definitely. Be nice. Make a health and wellness plan for the year.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And start with the lab work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best way to start
Exactly.
that plan, is to see what's going on and start changing it.
Right.
Update your health records.
Yep.
Level up your vitamins and supplements. That's what they're here for.
Yep.
Tell you all about those good things
Yeah.
that you need. So anyway, we hope you have a wonderful and prosperous 2024.
Yep. Yes.
We will be back again next Monday for the same time, same place, with some more wonderful tips on living a healthier lifestyle. You can find a lot of information on doctorsnutrition.com, also streaming on YouTube and a Facebook page. Have a good day.
For more information on highlighting your business and services on Healthy Living South Mississippi, contact Jim Tabor at 896-1313.